Plymouth County's entomologist is not only fascinated by bugs, he truly loves teaching people how to best protect themselves against the most dangerous bugs out there. We met up with entomologist and educator Blake Dinius out in the field for a little tick talk.
So the ticks you really want to be looking out for, especially this time of year, are what we call the nymph stage ticks. And they're really small. They're about the size of a poppy seed. We still have some of the adults left over from last year. Those are about the size of the sesame seed. But as we go into June, those are going to start phasing out and we'll be primarily left with the most dangerous stage of ticks, the nymphs. Unlike other stages of tick, what we see is that the nymphs are about 25% infected, whereas the adults are about 50%. And so you might stop me here and say, wait a second, they're less infected, there's less of a chance. But the problem with the nymphs is that they're so tiny that many times they go unnoticed for a very long period of time. With the adults, a quick tick check and you'll find it. But with the nymphs, that's not really the case. The best thing to do against the nymphs is to treat your shoes and socks with something called permethrin. And it comes in a bunch of different brands, but you really want to look for the active ingredient permethrin, and it's usually about 0.5%. Now this stuff's great because it lasts for 30 days, and that's not hard and fast. If you want to spray it every 28, 32, 35, it's just a ballpark estimate. And the good news is that these nymphs, they're only active from about May, June, July, and the early part of August. So you don't need to spray your shoes all year. It's just really hitting that part where the nymphs are active. You're going to want to spray them again in the fall when the adults come out, but these months are critical for the shoe treatment. As summer comes to a close and you want to start thinking about the adults to protect yourself against those, it's really important to cover up further up. Now your average adult isn't going to be found more than a foot off the ground, about a foot, 12 inches. But some adults occasionally will be up about 2 feet off the ground, so protecting from your waist down is really, really important. And if you take a look around here, you can find them along the edge, but also anywhere that you see tall grass. They're really susceptible to drying out, so any area that you see that can harbor moisture or be relatively damp, you're going to find them. So there's two things. So wearing the permethrin on your shoes and socks is really important, and also doing tick checks. You can't ignore checking yourself for ticks.